Hello, welcome back to Guided Reading with Miss Oliver. I'm super excited to have you here with me today, and I can't wait to get started on our lesson. But before we do, let's make sure we have a few things in place. First, we're going to take out the two worksheets that we're going to work with for our lesson. The first one is titled Opposite Words, Adjectives. You should see the worksheet with a couple of pictures on the front. The second worksheet is titled Opposites Fill In. This is going to be a worksheet just full of pictures, and you should see a word box at the bottom. Next, we're going to take out our book, Who Stole the North Pole? The same book we read in our last video. You're going to need a pencil to write with. And most importantly, you want to make sure you're in a quiet and calm space so you can focus and grow your brains. If you need to pause the video right here to get your stuff together, please do so. If not, we can go ahead and move on. So what are we going to do in this video? We're going to go over those same 10 sight words that we've been talking about for the whole week. We're going to jump right into our review lesson on opposite adjectives, and then we're going to end it with reading our book, Who Stole the North Pole? And we're going to answer some questions at the end. So jumping right into our sight word review, repeating after Miss Oliver: man, for, have, that, but, yes, able, going, with, don't. One more time from the top: man, for, have, that, but, yes, able, going, with, don't. Now, you're going to pause the video right here and you're going to go through those 10 sight words on your own. Pause. We're bringing it back in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So how did you do? Ooh, awesome job. 2 thumbs up and kiss your brain. So jumping into our review on opposite adjectives. We already know that an adjective describes what something looks like, what it feels like to touch, taste, or smell. We know that adjectives tell the color of things, whether it's red, blue, green, orange, or red. We know it tells how something looks, whether it's pretty, whether it's old, whether it's young, whether it's not pretty. We know it tells how something feels, whether it's hot or cold, whether it's sticky or slimy. And it also tells the size, whether it's small or big or tall or thin or long. It tells us how something looks, how it feels, the taste, and the smell. So we talked about opposite adjectives. We know that opposite is a thing that's completely different from each other. So we know that the opposite of open is what? That's right, closed. We know that the opposite of high is what? That's right, it's low. We know the opposite of front is what? Back. Awesome job. We know our opposites. What about big? What's the opposite? Awesome job. Small. Up. Opposite is down. And in. What's that opposite? Out is the opposite. I think you're ready for our independent practice time. Go ahead and pull out your worksheets and your pencil, and let's get ready to work. So after we write our first and last name at the top of our worksheets, we can go ahead and get started with our first one that is titled Opposite Words, Adjectives. So Mrs. Oliver is going to do the first one for you. The direction says, write a word in the blank that means the opposite of the word on the left. So you're going to look at this side right here, the word, and you're going to find the opposite, which is right across from it, and you're going to write the word. So opposite of cold is what? That's right, hot. So I'm going to write the word hot on my line. The opposite of fast is what? Awesome job. You're going to write that on your line. And that's how you're going to do all the rest of them. After you finish this worksheet, you're going to switch over to our next one that's titled Opposites Fill In. The direction says fill in the blanks with the correct opposites. Mrs. Oliver is going to do the first one for you. It says the door is blank, the door is blank. So if I look at the picture, I see the door is open. So I'm going to look down here in my word box and I'm going to find it. Oh, there it is, open. So I'm going to write the word open and closed because it has open, closed next to it. So the door is opened, and I know that the opposite of open is closed. So I'm going to write that on my line as well. You're going to do the same thing for all the rest of these. The light is blank. The light is blank. Look in your word box and find the answer. You're going to take about 8 minutes on this worksheet. So go ahead and pause your video and get started. Bringing it back in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and push our worksheets and our pencils to the side. And let's take out our book, Who Stole the North Pole? While you're getting out your book, Mrs. Oliver's going to do the same thing. Who stole the North Pole? So in our last video, we went over the words to know before reading, and we even made predictions on what we thought this book was going to be about. Now, and you even had a chance to read it on your own. Now we're going to read it together, and we're going to answer some questions at the end. So since you already had a chance to read, I'm going to let you read first, and Mrs. Oliver is going to follow. So let's get our reading fingers ready, because we know that good readers point to every word that we read. So you'll read first, starting with our title. Your turn. My turn. Who stole the North Pole? Your turn. My turn. The North Pole is missing. Who could have taken it? Your turn. My turn. Polar bear did not take it. Your turn. My turn. Santa did not take it. Your turn. My turn. Walrus did not take it. Your turn. My turn. Seal did not take it. Your turn. My turn. Reindeer did not take it. Your turn. My turn. Whale took it. Oh my gosh. Your turn. My turn. He thought it was a candy cane. The end. Whew. That was an interesting book. So it seems like your predictions were right. You said this story was going to be about someone who stole the North Pole, and that's exactly what it was about. Awesome job. Kiss your brain. Now we're going to answer some questions about what we just read. Our first question says, what is the problem in this story? What is the problem in this story? Think, think, think. 10 seconds to think about your answer. What is the problem in this story? What's the problem in this story? That's right. The problem is someone stole the North Pole and we don't know who. Awesome job. The next question says, who first notices the North Pole is missing? Who was the first person to notice that the North Pole is missing? 10 seconds to think about your answer. If you have to go back in the book to check, please do so. Who was the first person to notice that the North Pole is missing? That's right. The owl did. The owl was the first to notice the North Pole was missing. The next question says, what is the setting of this story? What is the setting of this story? That means, where did this story take place? Did it happen at the mall? Did it happen at the park? Where did this story take place? Where is the setting? 10 seconds to think about it. What is the setting of the story? That's right, the North Pole. The setting of this story is the North Pole because this story happens where? At the North Pole. Awesome job. Our next question says, how is the owl different from the seal? How is the owl different from the seal? 10 seconds to think about your answer. How is the owl different from the seal? Okay. That's a good one. The owl is different from the seal because the owl is a land animal and the seal is a water animal. That's an awesome job. What's another way the owl is different from the seal? Ooh, that's a good one. The owl can fly and the seal can't fly. Ooh, how are they alike? So we talked about how they were different. How are they the same? How are they alike? Ooh, that's a good one. They're both living things. What's another way? How are they both alike? They're both animals. Awesome job. Those were some really good answers. I love those answers. Our last question says, who took the North Pole? Who took the North Pole? If you have to go back and check in the book, please do. Who took the North Pole? 10 seconds. Who took the North Pole? That's right. The whale took the North Pole. And why did he take it? Amazing. He took it because he thought it was a candy cane. Silly whale. That is the end of our story and the end of our questions and the end of our lesson. Whew. I hope you learned so much today and I hope you grew your brain big, big, big. I can't wait to see you next time. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.